A new beta for iOS 26.4 is here, and this could very well be the last beta of iOS 26.4 before we move to the RC and then the final release. But we're going to talk about that later in the video because we have a lot of new things to talk about for the fourth beta of iOS 26.4. Let's first take a moment to take a look at Dr. Phone by Wondershare, an all-in-one tool to manage your iPhone and your data. And today we're focusing on the data recovery section. Now, this tool allows you to recover data from your iPhone, your iCloud, or even your Android device. It is very simple to use. Just simply connect your device, and with data recovery tool, you will be able to just go ahead and recover your data. You pick iOS here, and then you will have a few options. As I said, you can go ahead and just recover data from your iPhone, your iCloud, or even the backups that you have previously done to your computer. You tap right here and of course connect your device. Once you have done that, you can go ahead and pick what data you want to recover. You don't have to recover everything. You can just go ahead and pick any data you want and tap Start Scan, and you're good to go. Now you wait for the scan to finish and get your data recovered. Now once the scan is finished, you can go ahead and take a look at the recovered data, select which you want to recover, and just choose to recover to your phone or to your PC. So go ahead and give it a try by checking the link right down below in the description of the video. Now, first of all, we're talking about the details regarding this update as the size and the build number, which is really interesting. So right here, you can see beta 4. It came in on the iPhone 17 Pro Max here at 13 gigabytes. That's actually really crazy. I don't know why these updates come in quite big. So you can see right here, it says 13 gigabytes, and it does do this every time. It has done with every beta of iOS 26.4, but when I start downloading, it just downloads really fast, basically letting me believe that there's actually not such a big update. It just shows right there it's 13 gigabytes, but probably it's like a couple of gigabytes, but I don't know, it's basically everywhere. A lot of users have these like huge numbers on updates. Some get way smaller updates, but it's actually really weird. But it is here, and it is a great update, and most likely the last beta of iOS 26.4. Now here we have the build number for iOS 26.4 beta 4. And as you know, right now on iOS 26.4, you don't get the build number here, you just get the iOS version. But once you tap on it, it will reveal the build number. And the new build number is 23E5234A, ending with an A, indicating that this most likely will be the last beta to iOS 26.4. Now, what leads me to believe this? Of course, the build number right here, but also the adjustments that Apple is doing with the last couple of betas. No like major new features, but a lot of other adjustments. And also what they've done with this beta is they have released the new emojis, and usually when they release emojis, it will be on the last beta of that iOS version. Usually this happens with 0.4 updates, and either on the last beta or the RC, they do release the emojis, which they have released with this beta. So most likely this will be the last beta to iOS 26.4. And here we have the new emojis that Apple has added to iOS 26.4. Now there are, I believe, like in total like 8 or 10 new emojis, and here we have a few of them right here. We have orc right there, we have the ballad dancer, we have the fighting cloud, which is really cool, landslide, we have a treasure chest right there, and the distort face right here, which is actually pretty cool. A really cool emoji, my favorite out of this pack that Apple has added with iOS 26.4. Now, if you have been following the betas of iOS 26.4, you know that there is a new option under display and brightness. It has been there, and of course it had a switch to turn it on or off, but now it actually works with the fourth beta. So let's go ahead and give it a try and see how it works and what effect it will have on the device. And as you can see right here, they have actually moved it down here. So it used to be right here, just above show borders. Now it's down here, and it has been renamed to reduced bright effects. And it says minimize highlights and flashing when interacting with on-screen elements such as buttons or the keyboard. So when you enable this, here's what it will do. So let's just go ahead and let me show you an example. So just take a look at the message field right here. It has, when I tap on it, that like reflection that actually will be removed if we enable this. So this is basically what this will do. This option will just remove that like flashing right there, those highlight effects. You can see it doesn't show that anymore. So if you just don't want to have those, which are actually everywhere on iOS 26, you can now just enable reduce the flashing, the bright effect right there, and it completely removes those from your device. Now with iOS 26.4, you probably know that with the first few betas, Apple has been testing the end-to-end encryption for RC messages. It was on beta, and we knew it's not coming with iOS 26.4. Most likely it will be part of iOS 26.5. They have just been testing it, and now they have completely removed it from iOS 26.4. And when you go to the music app on the fourth beta of iOS 26.4, you will see a new splash screen talking about the new features that the music app has gotten with iOS 26.4. Again, the music app has actually received some really nice updates. You will have here what's new on Apple Music. So you have the playlist playground, concerts near you, and also the new look for albums and playlists. Of course, iOS 26.4 Beta 4 will fix a few bugs. One of them will be a bug that a lot of users actually have been experiencing with Safari, where the background downloads wouldn't work, and also a problem with shortcuts inputs has actually been fixed. So if you have been experiencing any of those problems, just make sure you update to the fourth beta. And now let's talk about the really important stuff, battery and performance, which both are actually quite good. And you can see right here, of course, we have here the times for the third beta, not the fourth. We'll have to wait a few days for that to see how it will perform, but I'm basically expecting to have a really good battery life with the fourth beta as well. So here you see some examples of times. This is basically the best example you can see because we have like 96% battery usage and it's at 13 hours and 18 minutes. Right here, 8 hours, 11 minutes, 65%, 75%, 9 hours, 30 minutes, and then right here, almost 9 hours with 63% battery usage, which is actually great. I'm really satisfied with the battery life that I'm getting, especially with the third beta of iOS 26.4. And now let's talk about performance. And there is actually not a lot to talk about here. You can just see the numbers. It's actually amazing. 3,893 on the single core score, while we have a record breaking here 10,175 on the multi-core score. The best score I've gotten on this device. It is actually really good, and you can even see it on everyday use. The update is really good. Everything is super smooth. Everything works as it should, and it's actually quite fast. So what's next for iOS 26.4? Well, we were assuming that there will be like 5 betas for this update, but based on this last beta and its build number, I'm expecting Apple to actually move on with the RC next Monday, and that will be March the 16th, most likely the day that we see the RC version of iOS 26.4 getting released to the devs and the public testers, and then move on with the final release, which most likely will be the March 23rd right here. That's the day that I'm expecting Apple to release iOS 26.4 to the public. It will be most likely the last big update to iOS 26, even though 26.5 should bring some of the new Siri features. I don't expect it to actually be as big as 26.4. So that's basically for this video, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video and found it helpful. If you did, smash that like button and subscribe for more. And I'll see you guys on the next one.